Hello.
Hello, and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 670. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Today is Tuesday, October 15th, 2024, and Lori and I both use the she, her pronouns.
We do.
Uh,
And we did not record when we were on our vacation last week. We had
uh,
such a good time, though.
yep, we
So,
never end up doing that. We always plan to, and then we never do. We're just
so
too
we
busy.
spent some time with friends, just north of St. Louis. We kind of did we rented a house together and kind of hung out, ate lots of good food, saw the aurora borealis, which were amazing. You could actually see them with your naked eye.
Hmm.
It was lots in reds and purples and greens, and it was super cool. That's been on my bucket list to see that for a very long time, so I was super excited. And we just hung out and did lots of knitting, I played some board games with some friends and just sat and talked and decompressed, and unfortunately had to go back to real life this week.
It's always the downfall of a weekend away is having to come back to real life. But it was nice because, well, it was funny because one day I took a nap. I'm a person that really loves naps, right? It's not for everybody, and that's fine. But there were nine women in this house, and I went to take a nap relatively early, like one-ish, and I got back up around 2:30 or 3 and came upstairs, and it was dead silent. Like
We
I
all
went in,
napped.
yeah. I had gotten up and everyone else was napping in the house. Eight other, well, no, seven, because Sarah was in the kitchen, but everybody else was taking a nap. And I thought that was like the best encapsulation of a middle-aged woman's getaway.
I loved it.
Yeah.
So it was lots of fun hanging with friends, and we all bring our own skills to the table. So that is also very, very cool.
Yeah.
Yep. So you got some knitting done on some sweaters. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
Why don't you go? Because
Okay.
I have the same sweaters I've been working on for a while.
Well, I have two new items after I said I wouldn't cast on anything new till I finish some stuff. But I have a baby shower tomorrow. So I am working on some stuff. One of which is not going to be done in time for the baby shower, and that's okay. I had a backup plan. So I am knitting on the playtime cardigan. I am almost done. I am 4 rows, I think, from binding off the bottom. It is just a cute little cardigan that is yoked and knit from the top down. And I just ordered some buttons last night from Twin Mountain to go on it. Um, it is a color blocked sweater. There's three different versions though. There's a striped yoke, just one color, and then the color blocked version, which is the version I'm doing. I'm using some club from another crafty girl. This was from her Roll the Dice Club, and it is based on Three Sisters, which is a great board game. So Ponky, another crafty girl, Sarah, she is with us this weekend, and she does some gorgeous colorways based on board games, because that is one of her passions. And this is just one of my favorites, and it's been sitting in the stash for a year, and it was time to use it. So I am knitting this on size 2 needles. I cast it on Friday. I don't know why I thought I could knit 450 yards of fingering weight on size 2 needles in
A
less
couple
than a week.
days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I totally did. I did get some good knitting time in watching some Penguins games, but and sitting around talking to people, but not quite enough. So this is just chilling. And then well, I'm sitting here working on it. That's my little mini skein. So her club comes with a full size skein, and then you can do a mini skein as well. And then my backup plan. So my backup plan is always the teeny tiny mitts. They are out of Knitted Wit DK and the Harriet Tubman National Historic Park colorway. It takes me around 30 minutes to knit one, and I will knit two, and then a matching hat. And I went into the bin to see what was in there, and I have a pumpkin hat. And so, like, the
Mhm.
two hats and the mitts, I think are a great present.
Yeah.
And that should be done today, hopefully, because the baby shower is tomorrow. I had to pick up some gluten-free treats this afternoon on my way home
Mm,
because the person is gluten-free. So, yep, look how cute they are.
they are very cute.
Knitted Wit did all these national park colorways or historical park colorways, and they are amazing. I got this probably 3 or 4 years ago at the Smoky Mountain Spinnery, and so time to use it for sure. And look at and I'm knitting this on size 3s and 4s. Such big needles,
It
but
is for you.
DK way it is for me. So those are the two things that I've been actively working on. I do have a finished object, but everything else, I mean, has been pretty much like left. I didn't bring a whole lot with me when I went. So
Hmm.
it's just been hanging out here. The sweater's taken up a lot of my knitting time, but it should be done by the next time you all see me, hopefully.
I wish I could say that. My sweaters are taking up quite a lot of knitting time, but I have no guarantee they'll be finished.
Well, you are doing adult size sweaters, and I am doing 3 to 6 month size sweater. So those are much different sizes.
So the thing that I'm actively working on at the moment is the Rocket Tee. This is a pattern by Tanis Lavelle. Sorry, I don't know how to say her name. And it's out of hand spun that Laura spun from the SSK 2024 colorway.
From
So
Kim Datsur.
I worked on a different sweater every day while I was there because I have that many sweaters on the needles. And this was where I was last time we recorded, and this is where I am now. So I got about 4-ish inches, maybe
Great
slightly more than four
progress.
inches. Yeah, so this is a light fingering weight yarn. Uh, so I knit on this, I think Thursday. Yes. So this was my first days knitting, and I got quite a lot done. Um, the ball has gotten smaller, but it still feels pretty substantial to me. So um,
Good, because I forgot to bring you the other ball.
I haven't measured yet from under the arm. I would guess it's probably 11, maybe 12 inches, but I've got a ways to go. So I'm gonna put off measuring it until I can't stand it anymore because it stops growing when you start measuring it. Um,
Scientifically proven.
it really is. The another one that I worked on was the Oban cardigan. This one is out of Shelter by Brooklyn Tweed, and sorry, it's backwards. Um, this one got less progress, even though it's a heavier weight because it's cabled, so there's no like rhythm. You're constantly changing what you're doing. So I got maybe 2.5, 3 inches, maybe 3 inches. It's hard to see, but it is very heavily cabled. It's just a dark color. There we
There
go.
you go.
So yeah, it's just very heavily cabled. So the progress is a little bit slower on it. But yeah, so that's the Oban cardigan by Baby Cocktails. It's a Shelter, so I think it's a DK weight or worsted weight, and I'm knitting it on 5 millimeter, so it's size 8 US needles. And then the last thing is the Wave of Change pullover by Denise Barron out of Barocco Remix. Um, this one, let's see, I got about 5.5, 6 inches done.
I thought you were
So,
gonna finish it. I had high hopes for you.
yeah, yeah, did not happen. I'm about to start. Well, I had started, I think. Nope, I'm on the last row before a pearl ridge, but I ran out of yarn.
Oh,
So I put it, oh, just of the skein I was working on. I've got
gotcha.
more. Um, but yeah, so this one is getting closer to done. I think I might, after this pearl ridge, I might measure it. I expect I'll still have at least two pearl ridges to go, but it'll give me somewhere to like an estimate. So this is Broco Remix is a very like sweatshirty feel. It's recycled materials, cotton, acrylic. I think there's some linen in there, maybe some hemp. I don't remember exactly, but I've knit with Remix several times. I've liked it every time. Um, if you're looking for like super crisp stitch definition, this is not the yarn. But it is a very good, just like comfy sweatshirt feel
Yeah, it's
yarn.
very tweedy in appearance.
Yeah. So I'm happy with it. And it definitely is the thing that shows the progress the quickest, but it requires me to use a size 10 and a half needle. And my thumb, after a while, my thumb joint is like, ooh, we're done with this for now. So
Yeah.
I have to take breaks to make that work. But
It might
you
be
finished
something
it.
you work on like 30 minutes a day or something.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and just like I had been knitting the whole weekend. Like that was, I think, the last day that I was working on that. I think that was
Yep.
Saturday's project. So I had already been knitting several hours a day the day before, the 2 days before, and I don't typically get that much knitting time, or recently I haven't. So yeah, it could just be that I'm sort of out of practice there. But you finished a thing, right?
I did finish a thing. I finished a pair of Halloween socks. So this is my second pair of Halloween socks for the season. These were the Haverlands Potomac sock base in Lock Your Doors colorway. And so I have two finished socks. I just need to weave in the ends, give them a quick wash, and they will be ready for this Halloween season. So I always have the goal of someday filling a whole sock drawer with just Halloween
Hmm.
socks, like 31 different Halloween socks, but I have been wearing out my older Halloween socks. So I
It's a
need
good problem to have. I mean,
I know I need to keep working. So hopefully the goal for this Halloween season is 4 total pairs. This is pair two. And then what didn't get worked on right here is pair three, but I just need to heal on those. This is my former pair that also just need ends woven in. So I am slowly but surely getting there. I keep a pile of socks to weave in ends right here. So when I am doing things like encoding video for
mhm,
Fly, I can sit and weave in ends while I wait.
yeah. It's a good like
So
instant gratification kind of thing. You just need 5 minutes and
I hate weaving in ends, so it's a good way of me getting stuff done. That is not my favorite.
yeah.
So I have that finished object. You haven't finished anything, correct?
That is correct. I feel like that's going to be our running theme for a while.
All the sweaters. So I am still working on my second bobbin of
Mm,
the super sparkle fiber from Honey Gold Acres. This is going to be a hat for a friend, and I am almost done with the second bobbin and about to start the third. So super glittery, super fun. Um, cannot wait to finish that. But I took I took 2 wheels on the trip because our friend Michelle of Woolens and Nosh borrowed a wheel. She just
hmm.
wanted to bring her bobbins. And I brought my Daedalus Martin. I had to think of what M bird it was.
Yeah.
Um, and I spun on some odds and ends from SSK. We do a fiber pool. But I didn't get a lot of progress on that, and I will show it when it is a little further along and something's going on with that. So
And we
not
blatantly stole that fiber pool idea from Jillian, right? Like that's a
that is
Jillian
Jillian's
Marino.
idea. Like Jillian hosted it the first 2 years she was at
Yeah.
SSK
Okay.
and gave us permission to host it this year.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and Jillian came to SSK this year, which was
She
super
did. It
fun.
was really good to
Always
see her.
wonderful.
I just like to try to remember to give credit when we can because
Yes, absolutely. And if you are looking for a great just spinning Patreon, Jillian Marino's spinning Patreon is the best in the business by far. She does wonderful things, and she's about to one thing that I need to do is start emptying bobbins because I love this will be the 3rd year in a row. She has done her like spin from your stash challenge. Uh,
hmm
so the first year I won with the most poundage spun. Last year I came in like 2nd or 3rd. So I am in it to win it this year. We'll see. But I am not retired and I have to work, but yeah, we'll see what I can get done. It runs for 100 days of spinning and the last 2 years I have spun every day of that challenge.
Wow. When does it start?
Usually December 1st.
Okay.
Um, so it's lots and lots of fun. I did a lot of spindle spinning last year, so maybe I'll spin more on a wheel this year so I can really get more done.
Yeah.
I am not the fastest spindle spinner, but I tried.
Still,
It was still fun.
I mean, I
I,
bet you got a lot better at spindle spinning during that
oh
time.
yeah. I spun 6 ounces during that time, so it was lots of fun. And maybe I will spindle spin some too, because I do enjoy using my supported spindles. That is one of my favorite ways of spinning now. So, and I've spun at least 4 ounces the last couple of years on them.
That's a
So,
lot on a spindle. Like it doesn't sound like a lot for a wheel, but it is a lot on a spindle or series of spindles.
yeah. So lots of fun. But that is what I have been spinning. Do you have any other crafting that you want to talk about?
Um, Not
You
crafting
you
exactly,
sewed.
but I cut out pattern pieces for Hinterland, which is a So Liberated dress because Amy Beth was going to be at the event that we did, the like weekend thing, and I wanted help with a full bust adjustment because yeah, the pattern calls for a woven fabric. Woven fabrics don't stretch typically, um, and so you can't just like hope for the best. You need to like essentially origami that fabric in order to make it like create space where you need it for your bust, if you are a bustier gal. And so she helped me with that. It didn't end up perfect, um, partly because I forgot an essential part of my sewing machine, the pedal. I packed everything up, um, but my sewing machine table is a drop-in. And so in order to pull my machine out, I have to disconnect because the pedal gets plugged in from the
Yeah.
bottom, right? As well as the knee lifter. Well, I pulled the knee lifter out and put it in the bag and pulled the pedal connection out and just dropped it. And so it's still sitting on the floor in my sewing machine or room
Oh,
under my desk. So anyway, um, so that was partly it. I was kind of mm, like discouraged, which was silly, but like that's one of my many neuroses. And then partly because once we had adjusted it out, it had sort of moved too far down. So I know what I need to do to fix it. I just haven't fixed it yet. So
yeah.
um, and then today I've I don't know, the past couple days I've been a little stressed and my response to that has been to do color by number
I think
pictures.
coloring is awesome. And there's been like brain science studies shown to like how it alleviates stress.
Yeah, like it's relatively good at taking me out of my head and like forcing me to focus on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's have I been knitting since the weekend? Not really. Have I been
Okay.
coloring by number? Yeah.
It's
So
allowed. Not every week needs to have an amazing amount of production. Sometimes you just need to take a step back and chill.
So that's where I've been. Do you have any other crafting?
I do
You already
not
talked
have
spinning.
any other crafting. I mean, I just knit and spin, so it's pretty easy for me. Um, I did finish reading The Summertide Chronicles Book 2 by Sam Burns. It was good. I cannot wait for book 3. Hopefully, I think it comes out in like January, February.
Hmm.
So soon, but not soon enough. And I have been watching all the hockey since I got back.
Hmm.
So, I watched Thursday's game not last night, the night before, Sunday night when I got back. And then I watched last night's game live. Um, and the next game is Wednesday, so I'll watch it a little bit later. But yep, all the ESPN Plus for me. So that
I'm
has
glad you're
been,
getting your money's worth out of that.
well, it is like $12 a month. So I
Oh,
better
well,
get my money's worth out of it.
I was just about to say that seems relatively reasonable, but I guess it really depends on how many sports you're enjoying. If you're getting it just for hockey, then
I
that
mean,
does
there
seem
are a
kind of
lot
high.
of hockey games.
Hmm.
If it was just for like football or something, I would be a little bit more, because that would only be 4 games, but hockey typically has
That's
more
true.
games.
They're always playing like hockey players are have some stamina. I will tell. I mean, I'm talking about on the ice, but like, geez, they play a lot of games.
They play the same number as the NBA. So they both play the same number of games.
Hmm.
I don't know how that compares to baseball. It's way more than football.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that has been what I've been doing a lot of, and listening to Six the Musical soundtrack, is my current earworm. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Pretty chill, pretty laid back, very
What
demure.
is Six the musical?
What is Six the Musical? So Six the Musical is a musical that is based on the Six Wives of Henry VIII. I think you would
Oh,
like
okay.
it
All
because your
right.
favorite musical is Legally Blonde,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you would like this as well.
Yeah. If it's a funny musical, then I'm typically
Yeah,
I
it
will.
definitely has some funny aspects to it. I mean, divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. So, but the way they handle the music per person is very well done.
Hmm.
So, yep.
We'll have to
And
look it
it
up.
takes the focus off of the dead white man,
Right.
puts it on his wives, who actually were all related to him through, I think, William the Conqueror. Like they were all related, which is why there were so many issues with the genetics of the line. But yep,
Fun times.
I learned that on TikTok, where I get all my historical facts.
I mean, TikTok, a
Not
beacon of
really.
knowledge.
But there is a person on TikTok who goes through like all the ancestry of the royal lineage of England, and it's really interesting with like different emphases. Emphases. I think emphasis is a great word.
Oh my God, no idea. Um,
Yep.
I have been listening to Familiar by Lee Bardugo. Leah Bardugo. It's fantasy. I don't think that it has a romance aspect to it yet. I'm only a few hours into it. Um, it was kind of slow to get started, but it's picking up now, thankfully. And then I'm rereading One Dark Crown by Rachel Gillig, which is the first book in the Shepherd King series, which is like fantasy, male female romance fantasy, and it's there's this deck of cards that's like there's one card and there's two cards and there's three card, and anyway each one of them have different properties and they can give you different abilities, magical abilities. And um anyway, the second book came out somewhat recently and I haven't read it yet, so I'm rereading the first book so that I can read the second book. um that's what I'm reading.
Gotcha.
Haven't really been watching anything on TV specifically, so nothing intelligent to talk about there. Um, Sorry, my stitch marker is hitting the desk, so it's making a bunch of noise. You know how much I love noise.
Yup,
Um,
absolutely.
I don't think I have anything else going on. Do you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
Trying to think what's going on. I got a shout out in the Ply
You
magazine
did.
newsletter, which was cool. So that was exciting. About some sock articles that I had written because it is October and I do love
Mm-hmm.
spinning and knitting socks. Um, no, thank you everyone who sent stuff to my school using my Amazon wish list. My kids are super grateful, as am I. And I think that's about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else going on.
The link to Laura's wish list, and this is for her public school, is in our show notes, as well as everything else that we talked about. And our show notes are on our website, which is TheKnitGirls with 3Ls.com.
Oh, and a huge thank you to our Patreons.
Yes. Um, they are really carrying us this month, or at least I feel like it. Um, yeah, so every month we do a couple of events for our patrons. One is the last Sunday of the month, we always do a VKN, and then we also do a craft along that we call a fail along. So we try something new every month. Sometimes we fail, hence the name.
Sometimes we don't even get started. I
Yeah,
gave that paper kit though to my work bestie and she loved it so much and she's ordering a bunch more.
good. I'm glad that somebody got some use out of it.
Yep.
Um, all right. Well, I hope you guys have an awesome week, and we will talk to you again next week. Bye,
Bye
y'all.
y'all.